Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll give everyone just a few moments to hop on before we get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our town hall. We are so excited to have you here with us and to see you very soon at the Walt Disney World Resort. We're going to kick things off tonight with the president of Varsity Spirit, Mr. Bill Seeley.
Hello, coaches. We are coming to you live from the Walt Disney World Resort. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We've invited coaches from all the school teams that are going to be competing at Disney to join us for this update, and we are so excited to see you guys. For over 40 years, our championship events have been the culmination of the season that cheerleaders and dancers look forward to every year. These championship events are a chance for us to celebrate our athletes for the hard work that they do year round. They provide athletes the opportunity to showcase their skills and celebrate each other despite the challenges this year has brought, and boy, those have been a lot. Because we want many of the athletes, or as many of the athletes as possible, to have this great, incredible experience. We know how important it is to our team at Varsity Spirit, and we've worked real closely with our friends at Walt Disney World Resort to deliver a championship experience that is safe, fun, and rewarding as possible. We just ran our first Disney events this past weekend, the Quest Recreational Championship and the UCA International All-Star Championship. We gathered some feedback to help your teams navigate this exciting weekend ahead of you. I want to thank you guys again for joining us in Orlando. Safe travels. Good luck to each of you. Can't wait to see you guys. And to kick things off, I'd like to turn it over to our Senior Vice President of Competitions and Special Events, Melanie Berry.
Not unmuted. Thank you, Bill. How are you doing? I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. There's just a few things that we want to share with you again, and to reemphasize what's going to make your experience here in Orlando as safe and pleasant as possible. During this webinar and session, we will cover spectator venue procedures, Disney park reservations, and then we'll take time at the end to answer any questions that you guys may have. You can submit your questions in the live event Q&A on the right side of your screen. As a reminder, if you have questions about rules or information specific to your event, Those will be addressed during the coaches webinars for each championship. Be looking for that email. First, I'd like to introduce Kelly Day, proprietor of Guest Experiences at ESPN's Wide World of Sports, to talk about the spectator venue procedures. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Melanie, how are you?
I'm doing great. We're so excited you're here tonight. We're excited about everything, aren't we? I'd like to just turn this over to you, and I know you've got a lot of fun, and interesting, and informative things to let us know.
Absolutely, Melanie. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody, this evening. I just wanted to run through a few things that will hopefully help you once you get here and in your preparation to being on site at the Wide World of Sports. The first thing we're going to cover tonight is about the team safety champion. So each team must have a safety champion who is over 18 years of age and is not an athlete or a coach. Coaches will need to enter this information upon registration. The safety champion also has to be willing to participate in an additional safety training from Walt Disney World Resort prior to attending the championship. And one key piece is that each team is required to have a separate safety champion. So for example, if you bring two different teams from the same program, you need two different designated individuals. Unfortunately, the safety champions do not receive any special access for the competition, but we are asking them to help us with quite a few things. So a couple of those responsibilities are ensuring that the athletes, coaches, and spectators of all of the teams are following the health and safety requirements, including face coverings and social distancing throughout the sports complex. They are also going to help us organize the parents and the fans from each team and communicating with the Varsity Spirits staff when it's time to enter the venue for your team's performance. So the safety champions must check in at the customer service desk upon arrival at the ESPN's Wide World of Sports complex. And the safety champion should be the first person in line to help the varsity staff organize the team to go into the venue. Okay, I think next slide. Okay, a couple of the more important COVID guidelines that are in place this year that we just really need everyone to be mindful of as we start the competitions is face coverings and masks are required for all guests ages 2 and up. Guests should bring their own face coverings and they must wear them at all times. Masks should fully cover the nose and mouth and must be secure underneath the chin. We do not allow neck gaiters, open chin bandanas, or masks with valves, mesh, or holes of any kind. Athletes are able to remove their face covering when they are actively performing during warm-up or on the performance floor. And guests may only remove their face covering when they are actively eating or drinking, but they must be stationary and maintain appropriate physical distancing while doing that as well. This year, one other change we have in place is that we are not allowing any food or drinks inside of the performance venues. It just helps keep everything on track so that it moves at a pretty quick pace. We do want to let you know that there will be some food and beverage options available at the ESPN's Wide World Sports Complex in the outdoor locations. Next up, we wanted to talk a little bit about the arrival and departure at the sports complex. One of the changes this year is that people are not able to go into the venues and hang out for hours at a time. Essentially, you're able to line up before your performance, go in and watch the performance, and then you would exit the venue right away. So because of that, we are asking that athletes arrive at the complex no more than 75 minutes prior to their team's performance time, and you go directly to the practice time on the fields, which are fields 18 and 19 at the sports complex. We're asking spectators not to arrive more than 45 minutes prior to the team's performance, and not to line up at the actual venue, whether that's the Advent Health Arena, HP Fieldhouse, or the Visa Center, more than 10 minutes prior to the team's performance. It's a big change, and so we just want to make sure that you heard that right. So the spectators are going to line up about 10 minutes prior to the performance. Once your team has finished performing and you're done for the day, we are going to have to ask this year that you leave the complex. Awards will be available for free on Varsity TV for you to enjoy from your hotel room. We do have limited space in each venue this year, and that is no more than 200 spectators per team. While we do not anticipate teams coming close to that capacity, we also cannot guarantee at this time that all sister teams will be permitted to watch. So for example, if a team's going into a venue to watch another team from the same program, there may or may not be space for them in that spectator viewing section for them to attend. Awards will be live with limited athletes and/or coaches, or they will be done virtually. And during the online registration process, you will select the teams that you're hoping to watch in the venue, but space is very limited and capacity limits are subject to change. So just to reemphasize, the safety champions will help prioritize their spectator group at the venue. And we're confident that all parents are going to be able to see their athletes perform. We would ask that you review the full venue tour video for specific instructions on spectator lineup for your venue. I think you will see that here in the chat shortly. Physical distancing is required at all times when you're entering the complex, when everyone is lining up to view the team, and also inside of the venues. We've tried to do a really good job of making that easy for you by placing markers or dots down in the designated locations so everyone can see where we need them to be and understand how far 6 feet is from the person next to you. As you arrive at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, you will notice that the gate is in a little bit different place than it was last year. So if you want to wait for your team before you enter the complex and go through the touch points, we ask that you do so in the designated team meeting area just next to the main walkway in the parking lot. It will be signed, so you'll see that it's a team meeting area. We ask that you not gather with your entire team on the main walkway, because that is where we will be staging people to enter into the complex, and it just makes it easier if they have direct access. If you'd rather meet up inside of the sports complex, there's several designated areas for you, including the grass area right next to the globe, and also on field 20, the varsity family zone. And we do ask again, one more time, that you remain physically distanced at all times, except for the team, the athletes, and the coaches themselves. I'm going to start to talk a little bit about the single day ticket option at the ESPN's Wide World of Sports complex. So if a spectator is purchasing a single day ticket, you will have to provide the family with a ticket link and customer number. You'll receive the ticket link in an email from Varsity Spirit. And the customer number is located on the top right-hand corner of your invoice. Within an hour of your request being submitted, the guest will be emailed a one-time code and a link for each ticket and day they want to purchase. The confirmation comes from noreply@disneyparks.com, and sometimes does end up in someone's junk folder, so it's a good idea to remind them to check there. The confirmation will also include a PDF of their ticket to be presented at the sports complex when they go to enter the park. We do ask that everyone reads the site very carefully when they're going to purchase the ticket to make sure they're selecting the correct day for the competition that they need. And when they click the buy ticket button, they need to review the COVID language on the main page. When they go to enter that one-time code, they're acknowledging the COVID-19 guidelines, and that's kind of the waiver that people have been discussing prior. And just a reminder, there are no refunds after this purchase. There's no exceptions to that. Each day is $25 per person. And just a few tips, if you run into any challenges while you're purchasing that single day ticket or any of the spectators are having trouble, you have to have a one-time use code for every purchase, every ticket you want to purchase. You order one ticket at a time and wait until you receive a confirmation before you start the next one. You want to make sure that your shopping cart is empty before you start a second order. And if you receive any errors after placing your second order, it's a good idea to clear your browsing data. And as a last resort, you could use a different browser as you go to purchase the second ticket.
Thanks, Kelly. Next, I'll hand it over to Andrea Giroux-Davis, Senior Manager, E-commerce, Sales and Services for Walt Disney World Travel Operations, and she will be talking more about the Disney Park reservations. Andrea?
Hi there. Thank you so much. Afternoon, everybody. I know that you've already received a whole bunch of wonderful information about how to link your tickets and how to make sure that your entire team gets to have fun access to our parks, but we did want to address just a couple of things to make sure that you have as seamless of an experience as possible. There are a couple of things that you need to do prior to your arrival. So this is now you can get started on this if you haven't already, and that is by pre-engaging your tickets. You should have received all of your confirmation information already, and that is going to be linked to your My Disney Experience account. Now, depending on how your teams are engaging, whether you have a coach or somebody that is overseeing the entire group, or if you're doing it as individual families, you need to make sure that the My Disney Experience account that you are linking your tickets to is the one that you use for every process for the entire stay throughout your time here at Walt Disney World. After you link your tickets, it is essential that you go to our park reservation system. There is a link available for that, where you will go in and you will select for each of the days that you're attending our parks, which park you're going to be going to, and ensure that every single person in your party has a park reservation for those days. You will not be able to gain admission into the parks until you have those taken care of. So those are the two first things that you need to take care of prior to your arrival. Now, upon arrival, you will actually be receiving a ticket media card that will be received at the varsity registration right here in Orlando. As soon as you get that card, we highly recommend that you go ahead and link that to the same My Disney Experience account that you already pre-engaged for your tickets and your park pass reservation. That way, right there, when you're at your varsity check-in table, you can ask any questions, or if you're having any concerns, they can help you address it at that point in time. Finally, to guard against being without admission to both your theme parks as well as the ESPN Wide World of Sports, make sure you take a picture of those cards, because that's going to have the number on the back. And if for any reason you lose it, you can go to our guest relations and they will be able to pull that back up for you. So make sure that you go ahead and do that. Now, even if you won't plan on enjoying any of our theme parks while you're here, you will need to have that admission card to be able to go into your ESPN Wide World of Sports zone. So please make sure that you are engaging in advance on the pre-arrival things that we suggested, as well as linking that card when you come in, so that way you can head on into the parks or into your competitions. Thank you so much, Mel. That's all I have.
Thanks, Andrea. Now we're just going to take a few minutes to answer any questions you guys may have. And I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Loper, and she's with our Varsity Spirit Marketing Group.
Thank you so much, Melanie, and thank you guys that have submitted questions so far. Continue to submit questions as we go along here in this Q&A. This first question is for Kelly. Kelly, can you clarify, if a school is bringing more than one team with their program, how many safety champions will they need to have?
Yeah, absolutely, Jessica. Each team has to have an individual safety champion. So if they have two teams, they would need to have at least two safety champions.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And this next one is for you as well. If someone in our group forgets their mask, will Disney or Varsity provide one at the gate?
We are asking everyone to bring their masks. We do have some available on site in an emergency, but we certainly would ask that you bring your own.
Thank you, Kelly. This next one is for Melanie. Melanie, I missed the email with the link to sign up for a check-in time. What do I do, or where do I go to check in without a reservation?
Well, we sent that email out a couple weeks ago. If by chance you did not get it, then you can go to the varsity registration area. If you're on the hotel travel package, of course, that would be Disney's All-Star Movies Resort, or if you're at Coronado Springs, Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, we have registrations set up there, and hopefully you received that email that gave you the instructions about the times. We're open, but if you missed signing up for the reservations, which is new this year, you can come on over anytime and we will work you in, and that's not a problem at all. If you're a commuter though, however, you will need to come to the registration tent that is located behind Building 3, Mighty Ducks at the Movies Resort. Everyone else, if you're on the package, remember you go to the hotel front desk first to check in for your room keys, and then come down at your designated reservation time. And if you don't have reservation time, we'll work with it. We're easy.
Thanks so much, Melanie. Andrea, this one's for you. What should we do if our ticket does not work when we get to the park or the ESPN complex?
Great question. Please make sure to visit the park or complex customer service desk for assistance. Before you do that, please make sure that you have linked your physical ticket media in the My Disney Experience app, and that will make it so that they can have a seamless and pretty expedited experience in assisting you.
Awesome. Kelly, this next one's for you. If a team did not set up 2 separate safety champions, if they've got more than one team within their program, how do they go back and make sure that they have enough safety champions, and where can they access that training?
So I believe that they would need to go back through the safety champion at varsity.com and provide the email information about needing to make a change or an addition if they didn't have 2 to begin with. Once they do that, they'll be engaged with a varsity staff member to get them set up for all of the training requirements for the role.
Perfect. And this next one is for Melanie. Melanie, are parents permitted to use the food trucks in between performances?
The food trucks, I'm sorry. Did you say? Yes, absolutely. We have a few food trucks that are at the front of the complex, kind of near that circle drive if you've been here before, so that when you get there, especially early in the morning when the girls and the guys are going off to practice, you can grab a coffee or a bite to eat. But there'll also be food trucks located down in the varsity family zone, which is down on field 20.
Awesome. Thank you, Melanie. Kelly, this next one is for you. If our program has more than one performances and they're an hour apart, are we allowed to stay inside of the ESPN complex in between performances?
Yeah, if the performances are only an hour apart, absolutely. And we do have a couple designated areas where you could stay. So if it's a team, we have holding areas in the stadium for them. And for spectators or guests, we would ask you to go maybe to field 20, or again, down by the globe in the grass area, kind of right across the walkway from there.
Great, thank you. Melanie, this next one will be for you. We've gotten some questions about parking. Where can they buy parking passes? Do they need parking passes for ESPN?
No, we are not charging for parking this year, or should I say Disney's not charging for parking. So there'll be plenty of parking and you'll be guided when you first pull in, but there is no charge for parking this year.
Awesome, thank you. And Kelly, this one is for you. Do parents purchasing ESPN single day tickets need to fill out any sort of spectator waiver?
Actually, when they are purchasing that ticket online, they are actually signing the waiver when they purchase the ticket. So all the information for the COVID guidelines are on the site. And when they go to hit the buy ticket button, they're actually acknowledging that information online.
Awesome, thank you. Andrea, this one is for you. Do each of our athletes have to download and link to the My Disney Experience app, or can the coach link all of the team members' tickets?
The coaches actually can be in charge of that. Now, mind you, if they do download all of the tickets onto their account, they do need to make sure that they get a park pass for every one of them. And then upon arrival, do need to link that plastic media card to those exact same accounts. So if that is what you would like to do as a coach, the best solution is to create a brand new My Disney Experience account that is exclusive for this event. You really don't want that messing with your family's one or your personal one. So make sure that you have a unique one just for this. And yes, you are able to manage that if you choose to do so. Whichever one you do, just make sure that that's the one you use for the entire time.
Great, thank you so much. Melanie, another one for you. How will the varsity buses work, or the Disney transportation work to and from the ESPN complex this season?
For those of you who purchased the hotel travel package, we have bus transportation provided by Varsity. At Disney's Movies All-Star Movies Resort, those buses are located out by the Varsity registration tent, which is where, of course, you picked up your ticket cards from us, and they'll be taking you directly to the sports complex. Also at Coronado Springs, we have buses provided, and they will be loading back behind the Rancho 6 building at Coronado Springs. You can't miss them. You'll see just a row of buses all lined up, but they'll take you straight there. As far as Disney transportation, this year, due to the buses not running from all of the resorts, they will not be providing transportation to the complex. So if you're on the hotel travel package, you will need to take the varsity buses, or if you're a commuter and you just happen to be staying in a Walt Disney World Resort, you'll need to use your own transportation or Uber.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Kelly, this one is for you. If we're not planning on going to a theme park, do we still need to activate our tickets before we get to the ESPN complex?
Yes, you do. That will actually help you have a seamless entry process once you get to the sports complex. So if you can do all of that beforehand, it will help you immensely.
Perfect. And Kelly, this next one is also for you. Does the safety champion need to bring any type of identification or proof that they have completed the training on site with them to the complex?
So once the training is complete, the safety champion will be filling out an attestation form, which they will be signing and sending back to us. That's how we will know who they are and that they've completed the training. So the check-in area at the customer service desk will have a list and we'll be able to tell. So yeah, if they have an ID, that's great, but we'll know who they are.
Perfect. Thank you. And we've got time for about one more question. Kelly, this one is also for you. It's a question on spectator viewing. How can we ensure that we're able to watch our sister teams? For example, will our varsity be able to watch our JV, or will our co-ed be able to watch our all-girl teams?
So for this weekend coming up, we are hopeful that no groups are going to be over the 200 mark, which means there might be space for sister teams or a JV team to watch a varsity. What we do ask is that we give the priority to the parents and the folks that have purchased a ticket for that team. And if there is space left this coming weekend, we will allow people to watch the competition if there is room in the viewing area.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all of your questions, and a special thank you to Andrea and Kelly for joining us tonight. I'm going to toss it back over to Melanie Berry to close us out.
Thank you all for joining us. I know we covered a lot of information tonight. We'll be sending a recording of this presentation to you tomorrow, so please take the time to revisit and review as needed. We need your help making sure that your parents know this information as well. So we encourage you to pass this on to them. We all have the same end goal. We want to have a great time, a safe time, and make it feel like a true national championship. A couple of reminders though, if you have not already, you will be receiving a link soon for your coach's webinar specific to your event. Everything that we talked about tonight and more, including everything that was already sent out, is posted on the webpage for your event. So use that as a resource. Varsity.com, click on championship resources, and then click on your event. And you can find all of this information that we went over plus more. Also, every event has a coach's band, so please make sure that you join if you haven't already done so. You can also find that on your webpage for your event. We're so excited to see you in Orlando in the next 2-3 days or 5 days. We wish you the best of luck, and we also wish you safe travels, and we'll see you really soon.